Trigger, thanks for the extra added sound effects. Is this an ASMR video? I don't think it is. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome to today's video. I'm in my barn, you guys, and yes, it is pitch black outside. Thank you to this time change, but I'm in the barn now after a really long weekend of riding Cash, and I wanted to give him a good grooming, and I wanted to bring you guys along with me to show you guys and to continue my series of my how-tos in beginners of horses, how to groom a horse. This is my version, my fashion. I might do things different than you guys do, so take anything with a grain of salt if it's not something that you do, but you might like some of these things that I do, and you may implement them into your grooming routine if you are a beginner and are learning how to groom a horse. All of these things will work. Some of them might be over the top, things that aren't really necessary, but they will get the job done. So along the way, I'll show you guys which ones are necessities and which ones are just added bonuses just to get the ultimate grooming experience. So I have Cash with me today. Like I told you guys, I've been riding him all weekend. Want to give him a good grooming. So if you guys are excited for today's video, if you guys are excited to learn how to groom a horse, specifically how I groom a horse, make sure you go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. And of course, have a chance to my post notification shout out. All right, you guys, let's get right into grooming Cash. So as you can see right here, this hair is just like a little bit harder right here just because this is where the saddle pad was. So you had more sweat right here. So I'm gonna focus on this area right now. You may not always need to do this. If there's no saddle that's been on the horse and they're not having just like extra sweat right here, if you're just doing like a regular maintenance grooming. So I'm gonna start with this, and today's first tool that we're gonna be using, because you guys know I like to use tools that are common household tools as well that can be used in the horse world, because commonly household tools are way more affordable than going out and buying like horse specific grooming tools. So try to find things around your house that also, if you can, implement them into your grooming routine. So with that being said, I wanna thank Uproot Clean for sponsoring today's video, because we're going to be using the Uproot Cleaner Pro and the Uproot Cleaner Mini as our first tools to groom Cash and get this sweat area worked out. The Uproot Cleaner Pro is actually the ultimate tool to remove lint or pet hair from everything ranging from carpets, rugs, clothes, furniture, bedding, backpacks, and more. These tools are multi-purpose and can be used on any non-knitted fabric. And like I said, it's multi-purpose, so they can actually be used on pets. So that's what we're gonna be using this for today. We're actually gonna be using it as a de-shedder, because really that's what it is, off of fabric. So you're de-shedding hair and lint off of the fabric. This would be an incredible tool to use when your horses are shedding their winter coats. So you guys will definitely be seeing me use this after winter's over and they're de-shedding, but I'm gonna show you guys how these work. Now it'll be a little bit different when you guys are using them on actual like fabrics, but it's the same principle, same concept. They're so easy to use. Basically this little guy is just like the same concept as this one, but in little on the go form. So I'm just gonna take the little Uproot Clean Mini, and as you guys can see, just going like this motion right here from left to right. So if you guys can see this right here, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of horse actual grooming tools like de-shedders do this same concept, but this is such an affordable way doing the same concept, and it works awesome. So just like this, and then I want to show you guys with the big one what we're going to be doing. Same thing, you can either do it like this or at a 45-degree here, same concept. And if you guys saw before what this sweat mark of hard hair look like, and even right here, look at the buildup on here. Look at here, this is a horse without a winter coat even, so he doesn't have much hair to even shed. So we're just getting all of this dirt and hair that's just built up right here where the saddle pad was. And you guys, if you use the link in my description down below, you can use code STEPHM10 for 10% off your order at Uproot Clean, and you guys can get these tools so you can use them, like I said, multi-purpose in your house, on your fabrics, or even on your horses and pets. So moving on to the other side of him, as you can see these sweat marks, we are just gonna get all of that hair basically uncrusty because it has been filled with sweat. Trigger, are you intrigued by this grooming? Do you want to be next? All right. So now that we've got that off, this is my prep before I go ahead and curry him. But I like how this looks so far. Trigger, thanks for the extra added sound effects. Is this an ASMR video? I don't think it is. I know, you'll be groomed later. So this next tool is a curry. So the process of currying your horse is to really lift up the dirt that lies underneath that coat, even if you can't see it. There's a lot of dirt always built up underneath this coat, even if you can't see it, like I said. And the concept of the curry, pulls that dirt up to the surface. And there is technically a method to the curry. It is known to go in circular motions to curry your horse, so you can really get that dirt up and on top of that coat so then you can get rid of it. Now, currying is a necessity, so you definitely will need a currying product, but there are tons of them, so many of them. I literally have so many of them right here. So this is a rubber curry. As you can see, there's a handle on it. These little prongs, I guess, they're all rubber, little round shape, so you can swirl away like this. Then there's other rubber curries like this. This one has a handle, and I'm serious, it's a rubber curry right there. Rubber curry comb, looks like this. So the prongs aren't out as far, and it has like a little bit different of a feel to it, but this is also a curry. So that's 2 curry products already. Now here's a third curry. This one can be used more so, in my opinion, when you're bathing your horse, but your hand can go right through here. This is all rubber. We're still all on like rubber curries technically, but it's got a little bit different prongs on here than on here. So another version of the curry. Then you have a metal curry. Some people call these de-shedders or things like this, but this is a metal curry. Again, circular motions like this. This would also be classified as a curry. So I like to use the metal one if they do have a lot of like hard dirt on them and stuff like that, just because it's a lot easier to get up rather than just taking that rubber curry and really going hard on their skin and coat. So I like to use the metal one for that. Now the last curry I'm going to show you guys, it's my favorite one. A lot of people call these like the magic brush or things like this. The actual product name on here is called Grooming Genie Brush. So I use this as a curry. These are like plastic, they're not rubber like the others. They're pretty condensed. This is some more ASMR, it's a whole ASMR grooming video. And then a lot of people use the back, as if you guys have seen a different one of my videos, as like a sweat scraper. So again, using your grooming tools is multi-purpose. I'm a huge advocate for it. But this is the one that I like the most. It keeps the firmness. The bristles are plastic, like I was saying, they're not rubber. I just feel like this pulls up a lot of the dirt a lot quicker. I don't have to work so hard. And they're really inexpensive. They're like $1. So whenever I go to the store, I always pick up a new one of these. So I really like these. So we're gonna use this one today to curry. So like I said, we are gonna go in circular motions here. Now it's not a crime if you go like this every now and again, but the concept of currying is going in circles. So I like to go all up on the neck, and here I won't do as circular just because of the motion of it. But I do want to show you guys the concept of this. This one is actually really nice in your hand because there's like a handle, but this is the motion of this. You're just currying with this one. Now showing the metal one, same thing, like this. All pretty much do the same thing. You just find one that works for you, your preference, and roll with it. So I'm just gonna keep going, and I'm getting all of the dirt off of him. And then I'll even take this down to his legs so he's got a little bit of sand and dirt from being in the arena. We'll go ahead and get this side while we're on this side. Perfect. Now the shoulder, and then we're just gonna do his whole body all the way to his hindquarters right here. And just keep going in circular motions. I wonder if the camera's picking it up, but you guys should be able to see the dirt even just kind of flying off of him because we're doing that circular motion. We're getting it off of his skin. It's not just staying on there. It's coming out of the coat. So as you guys can see right here, all of this dirt wasn't visible, and now it is. It's all at the end of his hair because we're pulling it to the surface to get it out of his undercoat. All of this we just picked up. It wasn't technically on the top of his coat, but we're picking it up to the surface. So we're just gonna continue to do this all throughout, back legs, just getting all the dirt off of him. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the other side. Make sure that you go under their mane. You can see all that dirt, oh my goodness, so satisfying, just coming off down to his legs here. And then their underbelly. Their underbelly right here is a little bit more sensitive. You don't want to be as rough with them. Look at all that dirt. Oh my goodness. This is why we love currying. So as you can see, just for example right here, you'll see some dirt because I just flew some up, but watch after I curry it. So if you can see right here, now it looks even dirtier because we brought all that dirt up that we couldn't see on top of the coat. All right, we're going all the way down again to this last hind leg, getting all the dirt up. Now that we have that dirt on the surface, picked it up from underneath the coat, we need something really strong to get that dirt off, because now we just need to get it off from the surface. So I'm using my hard bristle brush. So this is what it looks like. So the concept with this is basically you're just flicking off that dirt. So just like this. So you're gonna watch right here, the dirt that flicks off from his neck. Ready? See it? So that's the concept. We just curried all the dirt up to the top of the coat, and now we need to get it off. So we're gonna use our firm hard bristle brush. He's already looking so shiny. Just getting all that dirt from underneath his coat and off of him. So we'll just do this all over, everywhere that we curried, everywhere that we didn't curry, just to make sure that we get all the dirt and dust off of him. All the way again to his butt. We're gonna see the dirt just fly off of him. So now he has been completely brushed down with our hard bristle brush. You can even see how dusty it looks. So he was riding in a lot of like sandy arenas. So this is all the dust that's come off of him. Next tool that I'm gonna use is actually a soft bristle brush. So I went in with my hard bristle brush. So now I'm gonna go in with my soft bristle brush. As you can see, I can really run my hands through this one a lot more. It's not as hard. It's a lot softer. So what I personally like to use this brush as is almost like a buffer, because we already got all of the dirt off with the hard bristle brush. So we're using this soft one just to kind of buff him out a bit, make him look extra pretty. But I'm also going to combine it with this Shine On High Gloss hair polish. So it's just a spray on, and this prevents coat staining and repels dust. So that's why it's a perfect time to put it on now that he is dust free. So we're just gonna spray his coat to make him look so good. So we'll work on this side first. And now I'm just gonna take this brush to just basically work it in and do the ultimate buffing to make him look so shiny and just help keep that dust off of him, since this repels the dust. You don't really need to do this, in my opinion. It's not necessary, but if you want to make him look really good, really shiny, and just prolong the grooming and keep the dust away, definitely recommend. Now on to the other side. We gotta make sure we do everything to this side. He is looking so shiny, oh my gosh. Definitely don't go try to ride bareback after you put the shine on. You might slip right off. Like, look at this, look at his line. So beautiful. Oh my goodness, love it. We did a good number to the coat. Now it's time to move on to their mane and tail. So I'm just going to use basically a hairbrush. I'll call it a mane and tail brush. This is the one that I'm using. It's really designed for a horse, but if you guys really look at it, it looks just like a hairbrush. It's obviously just circular, but again, multi-use your grooming tools. You can go get a hairbrush from a really cheap store or anything like that. And even sometimes maybe you can even get one of those like wet brushes that might even make it easier to detangle their hair. I'm also going to be using a detangler because it's a lot easier using a detangler than just fighting with the knots, because horses' mane and tail, the tail especially, get a lot of knots if your horses are out on pasture. Even if they're in the stall or if they're in the elements, their mane and tail will typically get pretty knotty. Just imagine your own hair. At the end of the day, it probably gets pretty knotty and you're probably inside most of the day. Think about a horse who's out 24/7. They're probably gonna get a lot of knots. So I'm just using this detangler right here. But there's a lot of other ones out there, again, multi-purpose tools. Just get any type of detangler that you'd like. So right here, we're just gonna balance that there. Thank you, Cash. And just a tip, since this is a beginner's video, if you are brushing your horse's tail, just stand right to the side of him. So as you can see from right here, in the back of him, these are where his legs are. And actually standing the closer the better to them, because if they did try to strike and kick you, there's probably not a good chance that they're gonna make super great contact, because they're not gonna be able to flex out that leg as much. This is just a little tip. So my opinion, closer the better, and then off to the side, because if you were right behind them, it's just a good habit to get in is just to stay to their side when you're pulling on their tail to brush it. So again, and even a detangler I think is safer, especially on the tail, if you are pulling on the tail with the knots and brushing and your horse gets a little bit upset. So I'm just gonna give it a good, nice detangling. And now we're just gonna brush it out like you're brushing hair. Typically, just gonna start from the bottom here. If you guys don't know how to brush hair, just go watch a YouTube video on how to brush hair, or brush yours a couple times and you'll figure it out, because it's really that simple. Just seating to the side and brushing it, and that detangler makes it really easy to just brush the tail out. Also, after you brush it, a lot of the times it's nice to put it in a braid, put it in a tail bag, just to conserve the nice soft tail that you just brushed. So this one came really quickly. We do keep up with it, so if you do keep up with brushing their tail and mane out, it won't be as bad. So in my opinion, this is a very nicely brushed out, no knots. Make sure there's no twigs. Sometimes the horses will come in from out in the back and they'll have twigs hanging from their tail. So this looks good. I think it looks really nice. I can run my hands through it. And that's the ultimate goal with brushing the tail. Moving on to the mane. Cash doesn't have that big of a mane, to be honest. So not much work needs to be done on the mane, but just using that detangler, again, starting from the bottom and just working your way up to the base of the mane. And then right here on his forelock, I just bring it to the front, and then I'll just kind of sneak my brush around here, and I'll brush his forelock right here. Just get any hay out of it, and just make sure it's all nice and brushed out. Look at that. Perfect. While we're at his face right here, I'm gonna use that same soft bristle brush. They actually make like face brushes too that are just smaller, but I'm not gonna take a hard bristle brush to his face, and I'm just going to groom off his ears, just around his face right here. Just get him to close his eye, just to get the dirt on their face off and make it feel like nice and relaxing. Nothing too scary. I'm gonna just close their eye from them so they don't get any dirt and dust in it. Good boy. Oh, he likes that. He's pushing into it. Doesn't that feel good? Good job, Cashy. Oh, this feels good. He's going to bed. Good. So just like that, just make sure if you are brushing their face, just a soft brush. You don't want to put anything too hard around their face. Good boy. This next one's kind of interesting. It's called the cat tongue, and it is just interesting. I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's like a really rough, like sponge, but it's really interesting. It comes completely flat when you purchase it, and then it comes out to be this big. I actually like to use this a lot on their coat to get the dirt out and such, but I'm actually gonna use this to just clean off of his hoofs because he's been in dirt and in an arena, so we just wanna clean off his hoofs before we pick them. So now I'm just gonna basically buff his hoofs. We might not be able to get it perfect unless we put water on it, but for the most part, these will make them nice and buffed out. Again, little pro tip, if you are cleaning their feet down here for any reason, just stand to the side. You don't want to get struck by one of these front hoofs if they go to lift them up or paw. So just like that, just getting the dust that I can off without putting them into water or anything like that. Now it's time to do one of the most important things in a grooming routine, in my opinion. This is a necessity, is picking your horse's hoofs. This is something that should be done right before you ride, or even just regularly. Doesn't need to be, even if you can't pull your horse that day out and groom them completely, I do recommend to pick their hoofs. So there's a couple different ones. Here's just two that I have. They pretty much all have these little like hard brushes on them. Some don't, some will just be this little metal pick here, just depending on what you're looking for. This one's a little harder. I love this one right here. So this one has this little like scraper on it, and I'll show you why I like this. This is super convenient for me. These are great too. I have tons of these, but this one right now has been my favorite. So we're gonna go ahead and pick his hoofs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ask him for his hoof right here. I'm gonna put it between my thighs, my knees right here. So I'm just gonna use the pick right here, the metal part, and get right into here. So right here is the frog. So basically what I'm cleaning out are the two deeper sections next to the frog. So we'll just go like this just to get it out. And then I like to use the scraper to do this, get any dirt or anything like that off. And then I'll take my brush and go like this. Get it really nice and clean. And you just want to make sure that there's nothing, no debris, no rocks or dirt or anything like that. And then I like to use my scraper like this and then brush it out. So this is the concept. Now that we're done picking his hoofs, the next thing I'm going to use is this tough stuff. So not 100% a necessity, if you're just grooming, but I am gonna use this today because it's super satisfying and it really helps to toughen up and condition his hoofs. Just like this, it's got this puffy ball on it, and you're just gonna go across this like so. So you just wanna make sure that it's not touching this white line right up here. You don't want to touch the coronary band. You don't want to go to the back of the hoof, and you don't want it at the bottom of the hoof. Other than that, right here, if you want some extra strength, extra conditioning, this is where you would apply that. So now that he is all clean and we're basically done with grooming him, we got all that dirt out, we buffed him, we got his hair nice and detangled and brushed out, his face is free of dust and dirt, his hoofs are nice and cleaned out, we've conditioned them, and I just like to seal the deal now with my final products, and it's fly repellent. So I like to use a spray-on fly repellent, and I also like to use a roll-on fly repellent. So simple enough, all you have to do is spray the fly repellent all over and just really get a good coating so that the flies and mosquitoes and bugs don't bother him. And then with my roll-on, this one I like to use for his face just because I can get it right down the bridge of that nose. I like to put it right here and then right here. This is just prime areas so it doesn't bother his eyes, but also keeps those flies away from his face and his eye area. And he is looking beautiful. All right, you guys, so this is what he looks like. He looks great in my opinion. He looks completely refreshed. Doesn't even look like he's been ridden all weekend. Yeah, we get it, Trigger, you'll be next, don't worry. But you guys, I wanna know, what grooming tools do you guys use? What order do you guys go in? Is this the order that you guys do? This is what works for us, and I'm sure if you guys are a beginner, this will work for you as well. Or you can change it up, whatever works best for you and your horse. But I wanna know if you guys use any other products that you guys think that I should try, or what grooming products are you going to try the next time that you guys groom your horse. But if you guys liked today's video, make sure you go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of these videos, and of course have a chance for my post notification shout out. Today's shout out goes to... All right, you guys, we love you, and we'll see you in the next one.